Hello and welcome to Rathods Science Academy. Today in this session we are going to see current affairs of 13th January 2025. First of all, I wish you a very happy Bogi for all of you guys. And even I'm outside, I'm not in the institute, so we are having holidays from 12th to 17th, and again we are going to resume our classes from 17th. So from that day onwards, again we'll be having our classes on digital panel, but till then I will be continuing on this laptop. Okay, so try to understand. So just now I made my children asleep, and this is my second time recording. So in between of my recording, they smashed my efforts, everything, and again I stopped, and again I'm restarting now after making them asleep. So try to understand what are the efforts I'm taking for you guys to make this video. I hope you understand. Okay, now let us see the first article. So first article, it is about docking trail. ISRO overcomes drift, nudges satellite closer. So if you see here, this article is talking about space docking experiment. It is talking about space docking experiment. So this article is important from GS paper 3 under science and technology. So here, this article, why it is very much special, because it is the one of the last ISRO space mission of 2024 that is conducted through this PSLV C60. Okay, PSLV C60. And the name of this experiment is SPADEX, SPADEX, SPADEX. So here, especially UPSC have some important areas where you have to focus. There are some favorite areas. Especially you have to see this space missions of ISRO and as well as NASA and European Space Agency, JAXA, etc. Okay, and especially if you see if there is any important mission of ISRO, it is very important, and even I can say that this is the one of the success of government of India in this space technology, because the space docking is very important for our future missions. We are going to have our space station, that is Bharatiya Antariksh Station, and we are going to have this Gaganyaan. So for all these missions, so the space docking is very important. So already we discussed about detailed facts regarding the SpaceX, and even in this today's article we are going to see that. So actually, why this article is in news, because it is saying that we have been success in this docking trail. So actually, you know that we sent two satellites into space under this mission, and we are going to make them in contact physically with each other. So this is our experiment, right? So in this space docking trail, so ISRO announced that they were brought within 3 meters of each other. 3 meters of each other in the trail attempt, and even they moved them back on a safe distance. So actually this is very challenging, because so we are going for this docking experiment in space where different planets, different satellites, they will be moving in their orbit. So here we are calculating the relative speed of another object, and we are trying to make them contact physically. So this will be like a very challenging. Okay, so in this challenging environment, yes, we did something. So this is the importance of this mission, and even it will be very useful for our future space missions. So now let us understand some facts regarding the space docking. What is this? What we are going to do this experiment, and what are the important advantages or applications of this? So whatever the thing that we are going to discuss now, it is important for both your mains and as well as prelims. So space docking, it is a process by which two spacecrafts or modules, we are connecting or we are attaching them with each other, that too in space where gravity is no gravity region. So it is easy. If you are doing this experiment on Earth, yes, we can do, and we can keep two things clear nearly, and we can do anything. But it is a challenge in space, because there is no gravity, and even they are moving with their own speeds. And this technology which allows the spacecrafts to join together in orbit, so that we can achieve some specific advantages. Docking, this process which involves one spacecraft, that is chaser, and this chaser is approaching and aligning itself with another spacecraft or the station, that is called as target, and they both are connecting physically. The first important point you have to see is assembling of space station. So docking is very important, and it is very key to build the large structures in the space. So if you want to build the structures, So when we say a structure or building is done, so when we are bringing this different individual modules, and whenever they are placed in an arranged manner, then we are calling it as an arrangement. So if you want to build a house, so we have to bring the bricks and we have to lay the walls first. We have to go for foundation, basement, walls, roof, doors, everything, right? So in the same way, if you want to construct something in the space, we have to go for assembly of these parts, right? So here we are going for arranging of these multiple modules separately, and we are docking them together in the orbit. And next one is, if there is any problem in the satellite, or if we want to go for refueling, repairs, changing of parts, etc., we need to have this docking which helpful for spacecraft to connect with the satellites, for refueling, for repairs, for upgradation, everything. And next one is, even this will be very helpful for our human flight missions. And India is having an ambitious mission, that is Gaganyaan. So Gaganyaan is very helpful for human space flight mission. We are docking, that will be allowing the astronauts to transfer between spacecrafts or between the spacecrafts, and even they have to enter into the space station. And even it will be helpful for resource sharing. Docked spacecraft can transfer the supplies, power, data, so that it will be helpful for long-term missions like deep space exploration. So now let us see what is the significance. The first one is, as I said, crew transfer. That means astronauts, they can move into the spacecraft, between the spacecraft, and they can enter into the space station, so that it will be very helpful for long duration missions. So in the long duration missions, astronauts, they have to live in the space. So for that, this will be very helpful. And next one is, docking facilities will be very helpful for resupplying and as well as maintenance as well. So it will be helpful for ongoing research and station upkeep. And next one is, it also enables the countries to work together in the space. For example, as we did in this Apollo sewage test project, and even spacecraft from different nations, they can dock for joint missions. And even it will be helpful for scientific research. Docking, which also enables the transfer of crew and equipment to the space lab, so that it will be very much helpful for scientific experiments and as well as space station operations. And next one here is, it will be also very much helpful for supporting of deep space exploration. For example, if you want to go for exploration of other planets, other satellites which are beyond the Earth, for example, Mars, or like if you want to study about this moon, and as well as even we are going for studying of this sun, etc. Right? So for all those things, for deep space exploration, this docking technology is very important. And next one is automated systems and safety. So with automated docking systems, okay, with automated docking systems, yes, we can have some more efficient, and even it will be helpful for reducing the need for the manual labor, and obviously we can improve the safety of this docking operations. So this is about this topic, and let us see the next topic. Next topic, it is about Los Angeles fire grows despite efforts to contain. So this article, it is talking about wildfires in USA. Actually, this is not a new topic. I think 2 days ago we discussed about this Los Angeles wildfires. Okay, so this article is important from GS paper 1, that is geography. You have to see the location in USA where are this wildfires is happening. It is near to the coast or not. And even you have to see which is the local wind, that is Santa Ana. Santa Ana is one important local wind, that is a very dry wind which is moving from land towards sea. It is a one important reason for this wildfire. So these are the two important things that you have to see from geography. And apart from that, you have to see from GS paper 3, environment and ecology, like what is the impact of climate change? What is the impact of climate change on increasing of frequency of wildfires? Because recently there is one report which says that 2012 is the hottest year so far, and even there is increasing of global warming. So in this context, you have to say what is the impact of climate change, what are the causes of this wildfire, so what is the impact of this wildfire, how we can control them, or what are the measures you can take. And after this wildfire, it is a disaster, right? So this is also important from your disaster management from your GS paper 3. Here you have to see your disaster management cycle, that is pre-disaster, post-disaster and during disaster phase. So before disaster, what are the steps we can take for the prevention and mitigation of these fires? And during disaster phase, you have to see how we can decrease the impact. Okay, and how and what is the role of early warning system? And regarding post disaster, you have to focus on rehabilitation and reconstruction efforts. So now let us see this article in detail. So it is saying that millions of California residents they are like in a lot of vulnerability, and especially thousands of firefighters are working to control this. But lots of the steps they are taking up, but it is not having much impact on decreasing of fire. So it is one cause of concern. So now let us see what is this wildfire. Wildfire, it is unplanned fire. So it is burning a natural area like forest, it may be grassland, or like in USA we have this prairies, right? So if there is any fire in this natural area, it is called as wildfire. So wildfire is caused by both natural events and as well as anthropogenic events. So if you see the anthropogenic, that means like human involvement and human activities leads to wildfires, like some carelessness actions, and especially illegal campfires, bonfires, firecrackers whenever they're cracking them during dry conditions. Okay, and even loss of forest, deforestation. So all these are the actions of humans that will cause this wildfire. And apart from this dry winter, Southern California is experiencing negligible rainfall in this from month of this October onwards. So because of this, we are having a very extreme dry conditions. So in this extreme dry conditions, there is a high vulnerability of catching of fire that lead to the wildfire. And next one is, as I said, one local wind which originates on the land during winter season due to high pressure area on the land, and that will be moving to towards downwards, and it is moving to the sea. So these local winds are called as Santa Ana winds. So it is usually very strong this year. Because of this, if there is a small fire which had been started, so they had been rapidly spread very fast because of this Santa Ana winds. And even climate change is also increasing, and that led to the more intense dry seasons. That led to increasing of vegetation stress due to lack of moisture. That further led to exacerbating of fire risk. And if you see what is the impact of wildfire, so because of this wildfire, there is increased toxic pollutants. So whenever there is a burning of carbon material is happening, obviously it will lead to a release of emissions like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, ozone, some aromatic hydrocarbons, particulate matter 2.5, particulate matter 10. That will lead to the increasing of pollutants in our air. That in turn leads to increasing of respiratory and heart issues in the people who are vulnerable, for example, elderly and as well as children. And because of wildfire incidents, that will also leads to increasing of climate change. So wildfire increases large amount of carbon dioxide and methane emissions into atmosphere, that will leads to increasing of global warming. Global warming is nothing but increasing of global temperature. And because of this wildfires, that will also causes social and economic losses because of destruction of property, loss of life, infrastructure, loss of business. Now communities, they're prone to wild areas, they often forced to evacuate that regions, and they will losing the homes and livelihood. So in turn, it will leads to both social and economic loss to the country. And next one is, because of this forest fires, that will also leads to the degradation or destruction of small soil organisms. That will leads to the loss of organic matter. Finally, that will leads to increased soil erosion, leads to the loss of fertile land. So these will be the negative impacts of this wildfires. So what are the measures can be taken? What is the way forward? First one is, we have to enhance monitoring and as well as early warning system. So we have to expand satellite technology, and we have to improve our GIS tool so that we can improve early detection and as well as monitoring of fires in the real time. Okay, so if you see the example, Forest Survey of India developed Van Agni. So actually, it is a portal that provides alert and real time data on the forest fires. So the same way we can go for a international database. And next one is we need to have the global collaboration and as well as knowledge sharing. So we need to strengthen our international cooperation so that it will be very much helpful for sharing of data and increasing of research and even increasing of best practices in wildfire prevention as well as response. So here we can come up with some partnership with the governments and as well as NGOs, private sector, so that we can have some coordinated efforts in the fire management. And next one is we have to address even climate change, implementing policies into combat climate change, and even that will be helpful for reducing of global temperatures. Finally, it will lead to the decreasing of fire incidents during the fire seasons, so that we can focus properly on carbon sequestration strategies. For example, forest conservation, reforestation, and we have to take long-term impacts. We have to decrease the long-term impacts of these wildfires. And if you see next article, it is talking about Kerala's maternal mortality ratio climbs as fertility levels fall to a new low. So here this article is talking about two important keywords. First one is maternal mortality rate. Second one is TFR, that is total fertility ratio or total fertility rate. So here these are the two concepts which are important from your GS paper to under governance under this health. So what is MMR? That is maternal mortality ratio. That is nothing but number of women who are dying during the delivery or after delivery is called as maternal mortality rate. And why there is increasing of mortality rate? Whenever women they are having less access to the healthcare facilities, that will leads to the MMR. And even child marriage and even malnutrition, anemia. So all these are the important reasons. Lack of education, literacy. So these are the some important reasons for MMR. So if you see now, this article is talking about Kerala state which is good at social health indicators. But even though there is decreasing of MMR because of it is due to decreasing of TFR. So total fertility rate is nothing but in the reproductive age, how many children can women give the birth is called as total fertility rate. So actually because of reducing of this total fertility rate, now MMR is increasing in Kerala. Okay, now let us see some important points. So Kerala state, it is known for its remarkable health indicators and is facing a concern regarding maternal mortality ratio. Maternal mortality ratio is increasing. On another side, there is decreasing of TFR. So if you see the key points to highlighted in this article, so here this article is saying that rising of this MMR not necessary fatalities. That means here rising of this maternal mortality ratio in Kerala, it is because of decreasing of this birth rate. It is not like increasing of deaths of women. Women is not dying, but there is decreasing of birth rate. So when we are comparing in this, there is increasing of this MMR. So now because of this decreasing of birth rate, now Kerala public health officials, they are having concerns. What about our demographic dividend? Now decreasing of birth rate is happening. Because of this, there will be increasing of old age population. Then what is about the future of the state of Kerala? So here, whenever there is decreasing of birth rate, now here government need to take some health policies and as well as outcomes. They have to focus on maintaining of low maternal mortality rates, and they have to work on increasing of birth rate so that they can contain this problem of increasing of old age population. So here this article is saying that there is a concern of increasing of elderly people or old age. So whenever there is increasing of old age people, there will be having impact on healthcare, and even there will be expenditure on social welfare, and even there will be decreasing of economic productivity. So because of this, we need to take care of adequate support system regarding this aging population. And actually, the trend of older mothers are linked to increased pregnancy related morbidities. So actually, one more important point we need to stress here is whenever there is increasing of age of a pregnant woman, there will be increasing of complexities for sure. There will be increasing of blood pressure or diabetes, gestational diabetes or thyroid. So there will be lots of complications if the age of pregnancy is very high. So whenever there is increasing of complication, that will leads to increasing of death. Whenever there is increasing of death, obviously increasing of MMR. So here we need to take some targeted healthcare services so that we can address this unique challenges faced by our demographic, whatever the people present in the state of Kerala, so they can take some steps so that they can fight with this emerging health issues, and even they can develop some appropriate interventions as well. And this article is saying that we need comprehensive strategies. We need to take some steps regarding how to decrease this MMR and how to increase this birth rates so that they can come up with some broader social policies, and they can respond to changing family dynamics and economic conditions of the people, and as well as cultural attitude towards fertility. So these are some important things that you have to remember from this article. And now let us see the next topic. It is about Sri Lankan Navy arrest 8 fishers impound trawlers. So this article is talking about fisherman issue between India and Sri Lanka. So if you see this history of this fisherman issue between two countries, we have this, that is India and Pakistan. Next country is India and Sri Lanka. So if you see location, so here we have Pakistan, right? So this is our boundary, international maritime boundary. Here we have Sri Lanka. This is our international maritime boundary. So people from this Gujarat and as well as people from this Tamil Nadu, especially fishermen community, they will be crossing this international maritime boundary. And whenever they are crossing this international maritime boundary, navy of other country will be coming and taking our fishermen. Okay. So here you have to see about what is the historical causes. What is the historical causes between India and Pakistan and India and Sri Lanka regarding fishermen issue, and what is this international maritime boundary. And you have to see about UNCLOS, United Nations Convention of Law of Seas. And you have to see what are the steps taken by the government of India for the welfare of this fishermen community. For example, GPS trawlers and some incentive schemes, etc. What all those things that you have to see. And next one is what is a way forward. In this way forward, you have to see what are the conventions or agreements which are signed between these two countries regarding fishermen issue. So all these are very important, guys, and you can get mains based question from GS paper 2 under international relations. And in this context, you have to see even what is this Kachativu Islands, what is this dispute of Kachativu Islands between India and Sri Lanka. And next article here is MGNREGS participation among AP's Chenchu tribe remains dismally low, shows study by NGO. So this article is talking about again two important keywords. First one is MGNREGA and next one is Chenchu tribes. So MGNREGA, it is a scheme which is providing livelihood opportunities for the people, that 200 days of guaranteed work, and this work is given in unskilled, and it is only in the rural areas, not in urban areas. And here this MGNREGA scheme, it is also very much helpful to achieve our sustainable development goals like poverty, like hunger, well-being, health, education, like that. So you have to see which are the sustainable development goals can be achieved by this MGNREGA scheme. And next one, it is about Chenchu tribe. So you have to see some important basic facts regarding this tribe and in which states these tribes are located, and you have to see what are the problems of these tribes and what are the government schemes regarding these tribes. So recently for this denotified tribes, we have the scheme called as SEAT. And like that for PBTDs, we have scheme called as PM Janman and as well as Kendriya Vidyalayas. So like that, what are the government steps taken for the upliftment of the scheduled tribes? You need to know. And why these changes are in news? So recently, one NGO that is called as LipTech India, which conducted a study, and in this study they said that these people are not utilizing properly MGNREGA. Okay, now let us see some facts. So chenchus are also called as chenchuaru or chenchuar, and it is numerically the smallest scheduled tribe of Odisha. And they are the oldest Telugu speaking tribes, and they are one of the 12 particularly vulnerable tribes in AP. And next one here is they mainly reside in some forest regions which are included in this Nallamalla forest surrounding areas, and they mainly rely on the forest produce for their livelihood. So if you see some facts regarding this MGNREGA, it is Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act of 2005, and this law which passed by Government of India in year 2005, and this scheme which is guaranteeing right to work to rural citizens, and how many days of minimum work, 100 days, and the objective here is to provide employment for rural citizens so that it will be helpful for livelihood production as well as improving of economic conditions. And there are several organizations and people, they played a very important role in championing this cause of right to work. For example, Mazdoor Kisan Shakti Sangathan. Okay, and let us see the next article. It is about India US Sonobuoy production. It is between India and US. So this article is important from GS paper 2 under international relations. So recently I discussed about what are the Sonobuoys. So I will tell you what are the applications. So there are two important applications of Sonobuoy. So they can be used in submarines. First one is for improving of our maritime security is important, and even from environment and ecology also, to go for studying of marine or aquatic animals. For example, how these animals are moving, locomotion, and what is their reproduction, okay, what is their migration status, everything that we can understand by the sound waves through the sonobuoy. So we are going to expect this sonobuoys which will be ready by 2047. So recently there are lots and lots of things which are there in news regarding India US relations. It is about increasing of defense cooperation between India and US. So you have to see what are the recent advancements between India and US regarding this defense cooperation. It is very important, guys. And let us see next article. It is about India's data protection rules need some fine tuning. So recently what we discussed about draft data protection rules which are placed in public domain for public opinion or for public comments, and people are not accepting because of some changes. So in our earlier class I said about what are these draft data protection rules, and already we came up uh, with this data protection law in our country, but even though it is not much efficient, so because of this government came up with this new rules and it is placed in the public domain for the public comments. And here you have to see about what are these tools for, why people are not accepting this, and you have to see the advantages and disadvantages of this data protection act. Okay, and even you have to see some case studies like how other countries are focusing on data protection. So what are the best practices that we can learn from the other countries? So these are the some important topics that appear in our today's Hindu newspaper. So by this I'm concluding. And we started anthropology class in our anthropology course in our academy, which is available both on online and offline. So you can take that course, and the course is also very much affordable, and course will be taken by me, that is Usha. And we are also going to start new GS Prelims cum Mains Foundation batch in this third week of January, and admissions are going on. So try to contact us for the details. If you have any queries, you can contact us. And even if you want to visit the academy, so you can come to the academy from 17th onwards, and you can visit and you can talk to the experts and you can take the final decision. And one thing I want to say is coaching plays a very important role in your preparation. Try to select a right coaching center. This is my sincere advice, guys. So thank you so much. And this is second time I'm recording today. I don't know like whether it will be coming or not. So because of some disturbance from my children and from some technical issues, so both of them, they messed me from the morning onwards. And finally now I completed my recording, but I have to check whether it had been recorded or not. Then if it is recorded, then I will be uploading, obviously. And thank you so much, guys. So till 17 I will be doing on this way only. I hope you understand what are the technical issues and what are the glitches that I am having now. So despite of all those things, I am coming every day to make you updated with current affairs. I hope you realize my efforts and don't forget me in your life. And one more thing is, do subscribe to Rathods Science Academy, and please do share and like this class. Thank you guys.